Calvary. This power of love gonna set us free. This power of love is gonna set us free. If we believe in this power of love, this power of love will bring us peace on earth. This power of love will bring us peace on earth. This power of love will bring us peace on earth. Let us rejoice. There is power in love. This power of love embraces all mankind. It's gonna set us free. If we could love, there would be peace on earth. Brethren, let's unite, cause there is power in love. There is no peace anywhere in the world, cause people on earth do not believe in love. There would be no wars if we could.
Top of the day to you. This is Esther Davis with a great, big, exciting show. We're going to talk a little bit about the election. We're going to talk a lot about God's program in our election, because I have two experts here that can really put us on the right path. We want you to share this show. I know you have been doing that for the last many, many, many months, but this is a most important show. So welcome back, please, Archbishop Joseph. How are you over there?
It's a pleasure.
Yes.
Peace of God be with you.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Hello, Dr. Sam.
Hello.
How in the world are you?
I'm doing
Great.
well.
We have our red Bibles today, and if you're wondering why I have a toy on the set, I have grandchildren. So that's another whole story there. I won't even bore you with it. What are we going to talk about today, Bishop?
Well, they said a nation without a prophet is doomed. Yes, and when the people are in a predicament, especially as a point of choice, it's always good to seek for the face of God. So I think today is going to be a very special program
Yeah,
for America.
for America.
For God to enter into the circumstance and situation in America, the widening gulf, the conflict, the tension in the land that is building up. Because I recollect one writer saying that America has enough arms to start a full-scale world war internally.
Yes.
It can implode. And the only factor that can diffuse that implosion is the Spirit of God. And that is actually why the Father sent Brotherhood of the Cross and Star with the everlasting gospels into the heart of America.
Yes.
So that the Americans will follow the way of right and the way of God and learn to love one another, so that even as they go into the polls tomorrow, they vote their conscience, they vote the truth and not sentiments.
We're not talking about who you should vote for. That is not even the issue. We're happy that we have a democracy. We live in a democracy, and I'm so happy that the Archbishop is pointing out that we can get along on Election Day.
Yes, it's very easy, because a people get the leader they deserve. And how do you get a leader? It's only God that gives people leaders. But if we want bosses and rulers,
Yeah.
then we do our own. Remember the nation of Israel at a point when God gave them judges. They were having peace. They were prospering. Suddenly they started grumbling, oh, we need a king. We need a boss. We need. He gave them King Saul.
Yeah.
and see the situation of Israel after that. That's why I said in the book of Chronicles, chapter 2, verse 14.
Okay, I'm writing, and I have my Bible today.
Second Chronicles.
Second Chronicles.
Chapter 7, sorry, verse 14. It said, if my people, which are called by my name, and you see the beauty as it relates to the USA, it is called God's own country. So
God's own country.
yeah, so they've already claimed God to be the power and the force behind their name. He said, if my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. You know, God, like I told you, is a good negotiator. He's giving his condition and terms. So it's not just carte blanche, okay, fine, God said he's going to do it. You must do your own part too.
Yes.
Say, then will I hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Now, how does healing start? Good leadership leads to a good people.
Yes.
Because there's proactive, positive policies,
Good leadership leads to good people. So you're saying the example should be up here.
Yes.
The people we're going to elect tomorrow.
Yes.
Basically.
Because they are the ones who reflect the image of America. Any child in Africa talking about America is not talking about the common man on the street. It's the policies of the government. Same thing with any child in Asia, in Australia, wherever. And it is the leaders who are going to make the decisions that will influence and impact on the life of the people, both within the country, outside the country, and all over the world, because America leads the pack. We must be
America
sincere.
leads the pack. But America's got to do better, Bishop.
Humanity would do best.
Humanity.
Yes.
You have any words to say on that? For my other generation here.
Yes, I believe that a lot of the load is on America, just because they are the leading nation in the world today. And one thing that we must understand is, since America is leading in the world, they must be able to set the example for the world to follow. Because right now, there are many wars and even rumors of wars, and America is involved in a lot of them.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because we do have a lot of wars.
Yes, there are, and it seems as if it's non-ending, you know. So we have to, you know, select the specific leaders that will be able to indict the true word of God.
But are we giving the people the right information? And this show is giving the people the right information. That part we understand, we love you, and we appreciate that. But we get so much noise. I mean, all of the channels, all of the newspapers, we get so much noise.
But you know why it is so? I've had, in my capacity in brotherhood, I've had the privilege to deal with the media, the journalism population.
Really?
Yes.
And you're still sane, huh?
And one thing I found out is most of them put on their own vision. And depends on what molds your vision is what guides the people, you know? Because when God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, that they would have dominion. To dominate means that you lead the right way. Now, if the print media, they say the pen is mightier than the sword. So if the custodian of the pen is skewed towards a negative direction,
Okay.
he will lead the sheep astray. But if the vision is focused, that is why I say, if my people would turn around, the turning around is not about the politician in White House, on the Capitol Hill, or wherever. No.
Great.
It's not even about the soldiers in the Pentagon that dictate the war pace, because they only obey orders. People who sway the public opinion, like people are going to news to tomorrow, they will listen to the news in the morning before they go to vote. Some will read the papers, some go do one thing or the other, go online, look for the information. If the information is geared towards, hey, brothers and sisters, remember, we are one family under one God. It doesn't matter whether you're a Hindu, a Buddhist, or Sikh, or Muslim, or Christian, or Jain, or a Shinto, or you're an atheist, or you're an animist, or whatever you are, agnostic. We are one people. First and foremost, remember, we are America, and the world is looking up to us. So let us lead a path. And democracy right now is suffering a
right.
very terrible rupture across the world. So if America gets it right, the world will start shaping up. But if they fail
America
to,
gets it right.
yes, the world will shape in.
You just named 7 religions.
And there are still others.
The 7, one, you said something, mention those again.
You have Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, agnostic.
That's not it.
The
That's a religion? That's not
They
it?
don't believe anything. They're
Yeah,
just
they don't believe
neutral.
in anything,
You have the atheists who say there is no God. You know, you have the Sikh of the northern India of Punjabi extraction, you know, who tie turban on their head. You see, have the Zen. You see, have the Zoroastrian.
Zen.
Yeah, you have the Judaists. You know, and other religions. Even if you come to Africa, the traditional religions, all these people have one thing in common.
Yeah.
They might say, oh, the Buddhists will say Siddhartha Gautama is the founder, blah, blah, blah. The Hindu will say it's a Buddhist, is Krishna. The Christian will relate to Jesus Christ. The Muslim will relate to Muhammad. But in all this, there's one golden thread that runs through all.
Wow.
And that golden thread, our Lord Jesus Christ captured it in the simplest form. John chapter 15, verse 12. Say, this is my new commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. And what is that love? According to Zoroaster,
Yeah.
when you love everything down the line, you know?
And all of the religions, that goes back to a thought you gave us many, many, many moons ago. Love thy neighbor
as you love yourself.
as you love yourself.
That's
Not
the golden rule.
religions.
Simple. That's the purest religion. And that one has, it doesn't need a church or a mosque or a temple or a shrine or a synagogue, because the temple of God is man. If you're
And that
looking,
thread you just talked about, that golden thread.
yes, is binding all of us together.
Yes,
That is beautiful.
it is.
It really is. It's, I mean, when you put it that way, you have all of the religions, and you got this golden thread that's like just a thread
Yes,
that's binding us all together. And
together.
now we're all living in the same
in
neighborhood.
the same neighborhood.
Yeah. So God has a sense of style. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You don't really know who your neighbor is going to be.
You can't predict.
No, you can't.
The estate agents is so simple. Okay, this is the bill. Are you going to pay? Blah, blah, blah. Sign the contract. You sign. Case closed. They give you your key, give you your address. As you're moving in, some will see you and look away. Some say, hey, man, how you doing today? Say, I'm good. All of you become neighbors. You did not choose yourself. You find yourself in an environment.
That's
and
true.
the irony of the neighborhood is this. The closest person to you is your neighbor more than your father or child or mother.
Okay.
You have a crisis, you start screaming and raising hell. He may not want to come, but he's getting tired of your noise. They call 911. He has become your source of help. They will come to pull you out of your predicament.
But when you dial 911 in Dallas, it's really funny because I have been down in the basement of the police department where the 911 system is. And when you get down there, it's all people of color, all colors, all religions. Dallas has, and this is an old statistic, I haven't been down there in a while, but Dallas had like 9 languages
Wow.
in the 911 system.
Wow.
So when you call the 911, don't be misled. It is not all one color down there. They all have on a uniform. That uniform is the same color, but it is all of the languages. The people are sitting at the and they can help you.
Yes.
That's the beautiful part about it. So as that point is so very important because the neighborhoods are changing.
Yes.
Now, so what are we going to do with all of these synagogues and the churches and the? Is that okay? Is that misleading? What do you think?
So it is misleading in a way, because the more dispersed the religions are, the more confusing it becomes. You know, when everything becomes one, I believe it's Ephesians chapter 4, verses 4 to 6.
Ephesians?
Yes.
Ephesians,
One of my
yes.
favorite phrases. Yeah, my favorite
Yeah.
favorite one.
Yeah, Ephesians chapter 4, verses 4 to 6, where it speaks of one baptism, one God, one Lord, one kingdom, one people, right? When there is one shepherd.
I think I can read it for you, right?
Yes, yes.
Say there is one body and one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all.
In you all.
Yes.
Yes.
Because everybody has a different thing about God. If I ask one of my grandchildren, draw me a picture of God. That's the funniest thing you ever want to do, trust me. Is give a kid some crayons and ask what color is God.
Mm-hmm.
And they go into a whole, they have an explanation. And if you have a talkative kid that sort of likes creation,
Mm-hmm.
and during Halloween he was a pumpkin. so in the minds of all, in my mind, as people go to vote, everybody's standing in line, all these religions,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering what that temperament should be. Yeah, we all love each other.
Mm-hmm.
We all are supposed to
But if
do
you,
the same thing, vote.
if you look at Brother Sam said it, when you're standing on that line, nobody's even looking at the other to know where you come from. It's like, for instance, now let me take my home continent, Africa. We have 52 or 54 countries.
Wow.
Bring one man from each of the 54 countries and put them together. You cannot differentiate who is from where.
No.
Like I, for instance, I'm from Nigeria, of the Igbo extraction. But if I go to Ghana, Ashanti man see me, they say, it is saying, that's how are you? And why did they tell me it is say? They say, I look like Ashanti.
You look like Ashanti.
Yeah, but I am, you understand the thing?
Yes, I
so
understand.
what we call churches and religions, when we understand them as a social club where we gather to exchange our ideas and testimonies in God.
Mm-hmm.
It might have inflection like a Baptist priest in the Catholic Church who was trained in a Baptist seminary will want to give from the perception of his Baptist teachers who taught him in the school. A Methodist might come, but the central theme is Christ. A Buddhist will tell you, okay, what the Buddha taught. A Hindu will tell you what either Krishna or one of the gods or goddesses thought. But one strange thing of all of them is, let me take the Buddhist, the Hindu, the Jain, and so on. When they feel that you've come to the point of understanding, they say, we'll take you to the teachings of the highest teacher that ever walked the earth. And they take you to the Bible.
They take you to the Bible.
Yeah, that was why Christ said, all that ever came before him are thieves and robbers. Not that they were stealing, but the thing is this. They thought as teachers, but he lived the teaching.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You see the basic difference? He said, it doesn't mean you're weak if you turn the other cheek. That there's no limit to love. And when the time came for him to prove it, he willingly gave himself to teach everyone, no matter your background or religion, that if you really must love,
Yeah.
even your skin does not stand in the way. You sacrifice all. Love is all about sacrificing. And if we are going tomorrow, for instance, to vote, because I'm happy this program is dedicated to our brothers
I
in
am too.
America.
Brotherhood in America. I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy that you could come.
Thank
because
you.
this day is so important.
Yes.
That's why we want you to share the programming and share the information. Not just today, just this polling and all of this is bothering us, but I don't think there's going to be that much violence. If you listen to the bishops and to Dr. Sam, you'll be just fine.
There's not going to be any much violence. I know Sam will talk to the youths. If you're going there, remember, when passengers in an aircraft, let me give that as an example. That's what this election is like. Whether you're in the royal class, you're in the first class, you're in the business class, you're in the economy class, all of you are in that tubular contraption that is in the air. If it is crashing, the aircraft will not say, hey, some people in the first class.
Only the people in first class are going to crash.
No. Everyone will crash with the aircraft.
You are hilarious. You know, the whole plane is going to fall down. That's exactly right.
Yes. So America is like that plane. And it's not just carrying the USA alone. They are carrying the entire free world.
That's scary.
But it's true. That's the only kingdom presently, the only nation that can compare to ancient Egypt in might and power, compare to ancient Babylonia in might and power,
Okay.
is United States of America. So they carry a load on their shoulders, even in the global trade.
In
It's
the
the
global
American
trade?
dollar.
I thought it would be China. I mean,
No,
that's
no.
an argument. That's an argument. You don't think that's an argument? It's a fact.
As far as we know, it's still the American dollar. The day the yuan comes up, we know. But now, in the global
Wow.
trade,
Everything.
China might have more volume of trade.
Okay.
But
Okay.
the means of exchange, the currency of trade, is American dollar.
Yeah, even petrol.
Do the young people understand that?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Because even being from Nigeria too, also helps us to understand that because they're rich in oil. So the exchange is called petrodollar, and I believe that was during the regime of Nixon.
Petrodollar.
Yeah.
So they call it petrodollar. So that means that it's in favor of America because the exchange goes in their favor.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. So so the petrodollar, everything that is exchanged is in dollar, which
Okay,
makes
okay.
it
The
more
American
in favor.
dollar.
Yes, exactly. So that's
But do we
the way
study
things
that
are.
in colleges? I mean, you've been to college before the bishop and I have. Do
Well-
they study that in colleges? Do they handle money when they go overseas as exchange students?
No, they don't really study it unless you're going more into politics. But through your own individual research, you'll come to the understanding. It's just like with Gaddafi, and the reason why he was, taken out, mainly because of the petrodollar.
Okay.
He wanted to create his own currency.
That's right. I remember
Which
that.
is
African currency.
the African currency, the dinar, in order to exchange for Africa's natural resources. Which, if that actually happened, or should I say when? Who knows? But
Yeah, who knows?
if it actually happened, then everything would have been in favor of Africa, and Africa would have been or surfaced eventually over the duration of
So
time.
he
as a
sacrificed
world
with his
power.
life,
Yes, he did.
basically, about
did.
that.
Let's say the economic game masters felt it has to go.
Yeah,
You know,
because if the petrodollar goes away, then America will suffer greatly.
Yeah, for sure.
because
Because we're still importing oil
yes,
from
and a lot of it.
everywhere. That's a
Yes.
great history lesson to you, those of you that did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
We had sort of the same thing down in Brazil with Ariado a couple of years ago. The dollar is great, we understand that, but religion also, would it be fair, I'll put it this way, would it be fair to say that religion is also great in America?
well,
Are we all heathens?
I think like the last time we were here with Archbishop Emmanuel
Yes.
Ekong, and we're looking at the journey of the kingdom of God on earth. What is unfolding today is a fulfillment of a sign of the times. Because at each point in time, a nation must be in leadership, remember?
Yes.
In the time of Christ, the nation that was in leadership to fulfill that time was the Roman Empire. That was the first phase. Now, in the time of the manifestation of the Spirit of Truth, the Comforter, which we are now revealing to the world, the nation that is at the helm of affairs is the United States of America.
Okay.
So, and in the peculiar position they occupy, why today's discussion, I find it very unique and a very important point in time. And something happened. He made a unique sacrifice. His vehicle is having issues. He's supposed to take it to the workshop. I told him, hey, Sam, today may not come again for a long time. Because, we need to talk to our people, And to talk to our people, America is their peculiar circumstance to be in this hot seat, because he who wears the crown feels the weight. And being in the hot seat, the average man in America, you're not voting for yourself. You're voting for the destiny of man. You're voting for the future of humanity. China may be leading in manufacturing and whatever, but by the design of fate, America is a prima donna of this generation. So whatever impacts on America impacts on humanity. And as long as, okay, look at back home, we're talking about the currency. Right now, $1 is about 800 naira.
800.
800. So for
I
somebody,
know very little about that, but 800?
800. And for somebody now who wants to come to America, maybe he wants to get admission into a good university, and he's told he's going to pay like $40,000. Multiply $40,000 to 800. But there was a time when one naira, $1 or 1 naira was about $1.20. So you can see the reverse.
Yeah.
So now the impact everywhere, go to India, go to Singapore, Malaysia, Bangladesh, name the place. They are talking of the dollar. There are many currencies, real,
Yes,
ringgit, naira, rupee, yen, name them. But America, the dollar, still remains there.
The mighty
So
American dollar.
if the American government, if the America finds peace within her, then there'll be peace outside until the Holy Spirit takes over. So America is acting as a very important buffer in the journey of man towards the actualization of the will of God. And this particular election in America, judging from what has taken place in the past 3-4 years,
We must choose the
we
right
have
leaders.
to choose the right leaders, and you must be very, very, very conscious in your choice.
Did you hear that, America? We have to choose the right leaders. Do the homework. Let's go back to this phone you have right here. The bishop and I are the only ones with paper. You don't have any. You're the
my
generation.
paper is
It's
more
all
here.
here and it's there. It's there. So today I hear the TikTok, and the candidates are going to TikTok because of the young people. But are they voting? Do they understand the significance?
I definitely believe, I wouldn't say I have total faith, in the youth, but
You are a smart man.
yeah, but I do have faith for the future, and I believe that they are capable of making their own decision in retrospect of what has taken place in the past. I believe that the youth, of course, are the future, not only in America but in the world, and their perspective of what America should be, I believe, is still valid.
Okay, so you think that the young people understand the ideals of America?
Yes. The one thing about democracy, I have to say, is it is similar to what Archbishop Dike said when in Israel, when there were judges that presided over that nation. When the people start to take the wheel, usually that's when issues begin to take place.
Exactly.
Because everything is supposed to be preordained by God, and that is how it is and was supposed to be. So when the people go to vote, you have to look at the person that you are voting and look at their characteristics, and if their characteristics fall in line with that of God's. Because if you go voting for someone that has not those characteristics, then it will display in the lawmaking system.
Yeah.
So
And we got this avalanche of young people coming. While they may not have a moral balance,
yes,
their parents and the people that came before them do.
yes.
Is that what you is?
Yes,
Is that a
that's-
roundabout way of what you just
yes,
said?
that's pretty much it.
Because
That's more or
they
less
will
it,
come
yes.
and ask. My grandchildren are intrigued with the civil rights movement
Yes.
because I was in college during that time, and now they're hearing these things about the civil rights movement. They'll come and ask, "Did that happen?" Oh yeah, it happened.
And they are supposed to now take advantage of the civil rights movement so that the sacrifices of the past
Right.
will not be wasted. And the only weapon they have is not the gun, it's not the revolver, it's not the pistol, it's not the Kalashnikov, it's not the AK-47, it's not the Uzi automatic, but that plastic card, the voter's card. It's more potent and
Voter
more
registration
powerful.
card.
Yes, more potent and more powerful than any bomb you can make, any gun you can take, because you speak your voice. And when you speak your voice, you know, like there's something I was just reading here, the Father's teaching, Everlasting Gospel, Volume 1, Chapter 15. He called it, say, open letter to the world. Listen, I start from verse 25.
Open letter to the world.
Oh, yes. It
Perfect.
said, all churches, associations, and individuals must remain one with each other to foster peace, prosperity, and eternal life in the world. If the whites refuse to abide by this call, they would not be saved. On the other hand, if the blacks refuse this call, they will also perish. So do not think that your color, sex, or religion will save you. If you fail to listen to his call to righteousness, let no church deceive itself that it will be saved except it lives in peace with all. This is the time every man should advise himself and unite with one another in peace. Live in peace with your parents, children, friends, government, and all the inhabitants of the world. He has come to rule us in peace and to unite all people in love. Therefore, you should discard the thought for right, knowledge, rivalry, war, and other reactionary activities, for they cannot profit you anything. Now, it's just what we're talking now.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Because we have, even our children are, us, and I keep talking about mixed children. They're not mixed, but the children of other races.
They're supposed even to be the hope of all, because they
I
have the
think they
privilege
are
of
gonna-
being blended from both.
I think they're going to be, they're being blended, and they are so blended, they don't care what you look like. I watch kids play soccer, and it's amazing how they blend and play and congratulate, even with women in that soccer world. We're embracing gender
Yes.
and all of God's children.
All of God's children. And if we can do that, you know, we say it is impossible. Nothing is impossible. The mind is the master.
We sure are being slow about that. I know I said that on another show. We can't get it done right now. Maybe we're in a hurry. Maybe it's a fast food culture. But
Yeah,
it's
okay.
taking too long, Bishop.
No, sorry, Sam. There's something we must, the journey of 1,000 miles begin with the first step. Assuming like 20 years ago, this message had been coming in. By now, it would have become a popular mantra. But because human beings are like sheep, that's why Christ called them sheep, his children. He didn't call them goats. You know why he didn't call them goats?
Why?
If a herd of goats are crossing the road and the mother goat crosses, the kid goat will not follow the mother.
What?
Yes, if to get to the junction, look to the right, look to the left. The mother is on the other side. He does not interested. He wants to be sure the road is free. But if it is the sheep,
Okay.
once the mother sheep crosses, whether the train is coming or a truck or a car, if there are 1,000 herd of that sheep, all of them are crossing. They're not looking left or right.
Don't geese do the same thing?
Eh?
Geese.
Well, geese, yeah, but he used the case of sheep as an
Okay.
example.
I'm just thinking about the geese going south in the winter. Everybody goes.
Yeah,
I think
everyone go.
I think it's also because of the shepherd as well.
Okay,
So
the shepherd
the sheep
boy, yeah.
usually follow because they're foolish,
No, but
right? They
Sam,
don't.
the goat has shepherd,
True.
but the goat is independent minded. But the sheep trust, they bond. We live together, we die together. And if in America today, whether they like it or not, every neighborhood has become a mini human family.
Yes, it has.
Every continent, every family, every race, every tongue, they live together. So now it is incumbent upon them to realize that their commonality, they are no longer separate. They are different colors, according to one of the most popular African musicians called Lucky Dube. He said different colors, but one people.
You know, this is a great show today. It's greater than I even imagined, because this is the day before a major election, a midterm election, but it is a major election. And we're talking about all the people that can vote, all of the people that God has put in our midst in America and around the country.
Yes.
And we're not a white country any longer. Texas is not a white state any longer. And we're definitely not red or blue. We're purple. So we all have got to get along. We go back to the beginning of what we've been talking about.
Yes, togetherness,
Yes.
oneness. You know, like Bro Sam said earlier, one God,
Yeah.
one faith, one baptism. It's not the baptism of a church.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not.
It's not.
It is a baptism of nature. Every man came through one channel, the womb of a woman.
That's true. They haven't made human beings yet. We're not coming out of a test tube. That's very good.
Yes, and
that's a very, very important point.
and if all of us came from that one channel, we suckled the breast of our mothers.
Yes.
So we have one baptism
Yes.
and one religion and one teacher. Our mothers brought us up with the consciousness that we must love. So let us go back to that original love. You know, that thing is, I always go back to Revelation chapter 2, verses 4 to 5.
Yeah, that's
He
on one
said-
of my sheets here.
Yes.
Yes, that Revelation is just a power. Yep, there it is.
Yes, say, remember therefore whence thou art fallen.
And repent.
Go back to your original love. That love we are taught in the cradle before the society started to teach us how to segregate. When we forget segregation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Then we realize we are compatible, we are one of each other.
Yes.
So, and when you're voting, if the policy is wrong, say in the state of Texas, and there's war in Dallas, bullet does not know color or language.
No, the bullet that I watched the World Series last night, and I was talking to a cousin in Houston. Back to your point, because the teams, the Astros, is a diversified country team. They have players there from my cousin in Houston. They have players there from Indonesia. They got players from other countries, Mexico, that are part of the World Series. They play baseball because Houston welcomes in everybody. In fact, the whole state of Texas welcomes in everybody. So now we have these athletes from other countries, poor countries, that are doing very well and playing on our major teams. We embrace the athletes, but we want to dismiss the other people that come from the same country. What kind of sense does that make? What kind of because one of the major players that plays for Houston Astros, we're wonderful, we're proud of you, my hometown, Conroe, Texas, but we cannot let ourselves, or why do we let ourselves love the athletes and hate the people that come from these countries?
I believe a lot of it has to do with entertainment. So
Yeah,
people love entertainment, and plus there's a lot of money pooling that emanates from that as well. So when it comes to things that they deem important, like money and entertainment and things of the sort, then they put aside their differences.
Yes.
But when it pertains to things that actually matter, such as God, such as our specific mindset on how the world is and what is to come of the world, then it doesn't matter.
Is that a good example for us, though? Because I keep thinking about the World Series. The World Series went on for 5 or 6, 7 days. Nobody had a fight at the World Series.
Even back home in Africa, when there's soccer,
Oh,
you
wow.
will see Muslim, Christian, enemies, all in the same soccer environment. Oh, he's good. Oh, nobody remembers. At that moment.
But there's no anger there either. There's no discord.
No.
And I'm sure if you go down to the concession stands, there are long lines. There's nobody mad, cussing.
Everybody's
it's like,
free.
Oh, stand there, be quiet. Let him get his hamburger. Let him get his hot dog. It's not a problem.
Because that time, what matters that time is if there's a loss, maybe the team everybody is supporting,
Right.
everybody feels bad. Like we have what they call beer parlor back home, where people go to drink and eat a bit,
Yeah,
If
yeah.
the game goes successful that night and the team wins, oh my God, that person will just be raking in money. They will order everything. An item of $5, people will be ready to pay $50 because they won.
Yeah.
But if they lost, even the one they're eating on the table, they'll just drop the man's money carelessly and walk away. Nobody remembers religion that time or tribe. So sports, The Holy Father, Leader Olumba Obu, used soccer to give example.
Really? Okay. Good.
That humanity should look at soccer and see themselves as soccer players on earth. Reason, the striker could be a Muslim. The right fullback will be a Hindu.
Really?
The left fullback will be a Buddhist. The defense could be from any religion. There could be 12 players from 12 religions. But once they put that ball in the center and the referee blows the whistle and they pass the ball,
Yeah.
nobody remembers their faith.
No.
Their concentration is to win and win the most as a team.
Yes.
That's why Christ said in John chapter 13, verse 34 and 35, he said, "A new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another as I have loved you." He said, "By this shall all men know that you are my disciples,
Yes.
if you have love one for another." And if you look at it today, the polity is heating up. It's no other reason, because of that lack of understanding. And in the book of Hosea, I think you should help read it, Sam.
Yes.
Hosea chapter
Hosea.
4, verse 6. I always refer to it.
4:6?
Yes, Hosea 4:6. Hosea.
4:6.
Say, "My
And it
people
says,
are destroyed." Go ahead.
"My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children."
You see the consequence?
Yes.
Because knowledge is power. By the time you exercise that power in knowledge, what happens? You make the right choice. And when you make the right choice, you get the right outcome. Because let us understand one thing with politics and politicians. Webster's Dictionary of define politics as a game that is played with any instrument. The objective is to win. So the politician is a trader. He's plying his trade.
A politician is a traitor.
Yeah, he's plying his trade.
Yes.
When he wins and gets to the house, he may forget you. But when he gets to the time of the election, he will remember again and come and start promising you, like they had in one community in South America. A politician came, and so it was in India. He came and told the people that if he's voted in again, he's going to build a particular strategic bridge for them. And that was the same bridge he promised them 4 years ago. He never built.
And they forgot that he didn't build it 4 years ago.
So the boys led him to the place and pushed him into the water.
Now, that's a form of entertainment right there. Yeah, it is.
It definitely is. And to buttress what the Archbishop is also saying, there was one illustration that the father gave, great leader Olumba Obu. He said that there's a specific ship that, where, of course, the ship crew was on. And it was, of course, in the sea. So some turmoil happened and the ship capsized. So when, because the father said that he was the captain of the ship,
Okay.
meaning God himself, right? And he was on top of the ship and he viewed the people that capsized from the ship in the sea. And he said that represented humanity, right? And instead of them to come together and find a way back on the ship where the captain of the ship was, they were going, they were at loggerheads between themselves. And because of the division, they were not able
To get back to the ship.
on the ship. You see, so that is the same situation or relationship that humanity has with God. We are supposed to be one sheep
Yes.
under
Yeah.
one shepherd. And this is why the gospel of love is so important.
The gospel of love. I love that.
The gospel of love is very important in coexistence and forgiveness. All of them coincide one with another. Because once we understand that we are one human family and we are created by one God with one kingdom, then we will understand that our differences do not matter.
And it definitely don't matter if you're going to linger and keep it for 20 years.
Exactly.
Just go ahead and get Angelo. I know we're out of time. You don't have to tell me. I'm going to be very proactive.
Oh, wow.
I said we had 10
minutes.
I'm getting very, very good at that. But that makes a lot of sense, especially with our young people, because
Yes.
we need to concentrate on how they are behaving, and we can turn them around. I know we can.
Yes.
Yes, there's.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Please go ahead.
Sorry. So there's hope. There's hope. And once we turn to God, God is the solution to our problems. I remember last time we were talking about accountability
Yes.
for our actions. And I believe that is a very pertinent point that we need to imbibe in our everyday lives. Because it's not just the youth. It is the society that also forms the youth as well.
Very
So
good.
I
Very
believe that, you know, in time past, we also talked about visualization and how the things that we see mold our mindset, and the things that we see mold specifically the youth. So in order for us to, you know, take full responsibility for our actions, once we take full responsibility for our actions, then that is when the change begins. You know, as in my profession, you know, when you have a cancer, there's no amount of herbs that or whatever type of healing or chemotherapy that you want to give the person, it will never cure the cancer until you cut off the cancer first.
Cut off the cancer first.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
then the healing begins. Right? So that is the main issue that plagues the world today. And, you know, with United States of America being at the head or the helm of affairs in the world, they have a very huge mantle on their shoulders.
Yes.
And it is written in the scriptures. We've visited the scripture, Daniel chapter 7, the previous episode that we had. America is, you know, right after Rome. So we have the Roman Empire, which was when our Lord Jesus Christ came physically on earth.
Right.
And then we have the American Empire, which is the seventh kingdom. The eighth kingdom now is the Soviet Union or Russia.
Russia.
Right? And those are the days that we are living in right now.
And you don't want to miss our shows. I don't want to cut you off, but you don't want to miss any of the shows, because I think we've sort of gone all the way around the globe. And we did have that conversation
Yes.
about the kingdoms, and we all play a part in maintaining or partnershiping with America and these other places. We have to
Yes.
accept the other places, and we talked about that. But I think the lessons we're learning, I mean, you educated us again today on some other history that we had not explored. And that now we're becoming a history show. We'll take that. We'll take that.
You know, if you don't know your past, you will
Yes.
not know your present. And if you don't know where you're going, you will not find your destination. You know, like, if you check the situation, we say this is a Christian nation. And Christ told us in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 and 29, he said, "Come unto me, all ye who labor and are heavy laden. Say, I will give you rest. Say, take my yoke upon you and learn from me, and you will find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light." Now, this is a Christian nation, agreed. So, in comparison to the other nations that are ruling the world today, the whole Christian world is looking towards America.
Wow, that's a burden when you say that.
Yes.
But it is true. I do agree with that. But so you're telling me America has not lost their way. America is still on track. I do believe we have that moral compass. We still have.
There's still some
That.
level of morality.
Yes.
There's some level of consciousness. And at least the freedom of worship and so on encourages people to explore their faith. Unlike other environments where there's restriction on even your relationship with God. Though some of that is getting eroded with certain things that are taking place, you know, but still, there's still hope. But the critical moment we are in now is where a voter that goes today to say, hey, I want to vote this man because he's an African American. I want to vote this one because he's Hispanic. I want to vote this one because he's white. I want to vote this one because he's Chinese or Puerto Rican and so on. That's a foolish voter. Vote.
That's a foolish vote.
Yes, vote the man you know that when he goes there, he will look at the common good and realize that America owes the world a lot, not just to itself. And for America to grow,
Yeah.
if you're the only rich man in your neighborhood, you're a very poor man. But if your brothers are rising like you, you're confident.
And that's, in America is truth. That's the one thing we've learned. As you do your research, truth becomes a big player in your decisions when you're voting.
Yes.
Next week. I don't think the race will be over tomorrow. Tomorrow is election day. As you watch this show later on, we have elections almost every 2 years in this country. And I have found that a lot of people are not up to date on this, what the elections and who is elected every 2 years. So we asked you to play a major, major part in the election, who's running, the truth behind that candidate, and where do you fit in? That's what you're saying.
That's the key question. Where do you fit in?
Yes.
And what is your expectation?
Exactly.
If you vote in junk, Galatians chapter 6 verse 7, whatever a man sows, he must reap. So if you vote in quality, you have quality leadership. If you vote in junk, you have junk leadership. And if you vote peace and love, and don't see the candidates are bleeding hearts, you have peace and love. So the message of Brotherhood of a Cross and Star to the United States of America, not just in this election season alone, but in every day of their life, is please, 1, be language deaf.
Yes. Wow.
Number 2, be colorblind. Number
colorblind.
Yes. And number 3, forget status. Remember, there's only one family. That's the human family.
Right.
There's only one race. That's the human race. And there's only one moral code. Love one another. Be in peace. He said, as much as light in you, live peaceably with all men. Forgive and let God do it.
That is where we are. This is a great message for Election Day. I'm so thankful to Archbishop and to Sam for just the messaging. Share the message. And we have another election in May of 23. We have a national election, and it will start right after this election. We got 18 months before our national election. So the elections, we are preparing you for Election Day and getting you ready for the servants of God.
Yes, we are preparing them. We are begging each other.
Begging.
Yeah, like
Yes.
our brother Michael Jackson sang it. He said, heal the world, make it a better place.
But Michael Jackson
for you and
also
for me,
said,
for
take
the
a look in the mirror.
Yeah,
So
that
if
is.
you're one of those people, take a look in the mirror.
Look at the mirror, heal the
Yes.
world, make it a better place. Let us be one family, one God, one faith, one brotherhood, one baptism.
Yes.
Coming from the Archbishops and Dr. Sam. Before we get off the air this week, I want to say thank you so much to the Community Missionary Baptist Church. I was your guest yesterday. I enjoyed everything. I enjoyed absolutely everything that was there. I don't visit that often. I will get around to some of the answers, but it was great at Community Missionary Baptist Church. I think the Cedar Hill branch was the one that I attended. This is the pastor, Reverend Oscar Epps. And he and one of his deacons had seen one of the shows.
Wow.
So we were very happy about that. You know what? I've got to go. I have to go. The bishops will be back. And in the meantime, please go vote. Be great. Be peaceful. And you really are the greatest audience in the world. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Wow. Gee whiz.